So hi guys, welcome back to another SCPH replay casting here, sent in by the lovely community of SCPH. And yeah, this is me, Daks, bringing you back some more Starcraft action. It's been a while. I did say I was gonna do 2 to 3 days, but apparently it would have been like 4. And in the meantime, these two guys talking about lore. So anyway, let's introduce our players here. It's gonna be DRKPMT UNSC on the top right on that Zerg. On the bottom left though will be Pablito, and I believe Pablito was the one who said in the replay, so thank you to Pablito. So DRKPMT, Democratic Republic of Korea, positive mental training. Damn, that's a mouthful. UNSC, United Nations Security Council. I think that's the it's something from Halo or something. I'm not sure. I just remember that thing. So anyway, we're in a different game with different aliens, and now it's gonna be a ZVZ. So what I'm expecting is maybe one of these players gonna get in the spawning pool earlier. Yes, UNSC are actually gonna start things off with a quick Zergling pool. So no extractors as of yet. In the meantime, for Pablito, he's going for that first extractor, so it tells me he wants to go for the meta boost and will go for the second base. So these two Zerglings might be key for this initial attack. Look at them. Look at them just waiting to get into the fight. Look at the base though. We do see 2-3 expansions that are pretty easy to get as a Zerg. This is going to be a race for a base here between these two guys. But now in terms of worker supply, Pablito, a little bit of the advantage there. But we do see a number of Zerglings coming the way of Pablito. He might not be ready for this. On the other hand, UNSC, with that heavy mineral investment, has a queen early. So we might see some spawn larva. Yeah, spawn larva being used up. No tumors as of yet, and I believe Pablito has seen that those Zerglings were coming his way. So he needs to get these Zerglings out as soon as possible for the defense. Smart decision though to go for the spine crawler. It's gonna be very dangerous though for the expansion, especially these two drones. These two drones who are just minding their own business. Oh, instead he's gonna go for the expansion to do some economical damage. The Zerglings now gonna run on by with a few drones alongside it. So the Kekeke squad are gonna fight off against one another. This poor hatchery. Oh, the queen comes on out, and now there's gonna be a good surround here by Pablito. If he can get in position, the queen can tank this up pretty heavily, and the Zerglings are gonna run away instead. So perfect defense there by Pablito, even trying to get rid of this overlord, and this might be a detriment to UNSC's plan. That was beautiful stuff there from Pablito. Just waiting for that queen to hatch on out from the hatchery, as well as put a spine crawler. So it was an either or win for him. If UNSC chased him to the top, the spine crawler were gonna go for books, and the queen was on the way. Look at it, very tanky now. This poor drone though, scouting around, being chased after by these Zerglings. We do see Meta Boost now in production still for Pablito. On the other hand, for UNSC, he's going for those double spines as the Zerglings are gonna siege on, and Pablito winning it out again. So there'll be a little change of pace here for UNSC. Still has the Meta Boost upgrade needed for the next fight. Oh, Pablito losing an Overlord, so he has to invest in some heavy supply for now. But as I was saying, the Spine Crawlers are in position just in case Pablito went in for the counterattack. So kudos to both players. Very smart having these backup plans. Spawn Larva coming on out again. And I think UNSC very focused on Spawn Larva. I don't know if Pablito on the other hand, going for the creep. And the thing about the ZVZ is, if you are gonna one of you guys are gonna creep, and the other guy is gonna spawn larva, I think the spawn larva might end up in your favor, provided that you have enough creep to get to your main base. Because with the creep in position for both players, it does affect them both at the same time. So look at it. Look how fast these Zerglings run. It doesn't matter who owns the creep. Basta there's creep, Zergs run really quickly. And I don't understand that. Like, it's some biomass thing. You would think it's something very sticky. But apparently, the Zergs just run faster. It probably has something to do with, like, absorbing. They're like moving plants. They're like moving plants. Damn, that'd be scary if a plant just came after you. Anyway, this is very interesting. Looking at Pablito's base design, I'm really surprised that he put the bathing nest literally in front of his base. So this is more or less a wall, but usually Evo chambers instead, so you don't lose out on any tick just in case it does get bursted. Pablito now just roaming around the map, looking for another base here for UNSC. But UNSC is pretty behind in terms of map control. A third base now coming and already starting production here for Pablito. Where is the worker tab? That's, yeah, 43 workers compared to 37. Pablito gonna spawn in some banelings, but they get caught out by UNSC. And this is gonna be a run on by now from the red Zerg. The blue Zerg gonna chase after. All of them just having a field day here, going for a marathon sprint. And now the hatchery under attack. These poor drones are surrounded. Will they get taken down? Pablito now gonna go for the intercept. And a beautiful entrance point there from UNSC. This hatchery now in dire straits. A few more Zerglings gonna go for the siege. Banelings gonna come out as well. Who will win in this micro fight? Look at that. The rally point coming out for Pablito. He knows he has to get a good buzz. And here come the acid spitters. And this might be huge. UNSC, good micro to get knocked out. And finally, one of them bursts. So many pokes here. But looks like UNSC will sacrifice those Zerglings at the end. That was a very, very good siege there from the red Zerg though. I love the micro from both. Pablito eventually getting the good Baneling explosion at the end. So, really, good microplay between these two guys. Tech now ready here for UNSC, and he still wants to go for the attack. Gets rid of the Spine Crawler without the cancel there from Pablito. One of the Banelings burst, but the Zergling's now gonna run on by again. This is gonna be such a chase between these two, and it's just a lovely sight to see. Zergling versus Zergling action, but Banelings are the wild card here, and one of them explodes in the backline. Doesn't get too much. Oh, that's a huge one to the right hand side, and UNSC already down in terms of units. Look at that, the Banelings doing so much damage, and Pablito holding steadfast again. This works better for Pablito because he doesn't really have the upgrades for the Banelings ready yet. He's still researching them, so they can't really fight offensively. Instead, he's using these Banelings for defensive purposes, and they have been counting very, very heavily. Now we see some Roach upgrades. Is this Tunneling Claws or is this Speed? I'm not sure. But whatever it is, just we'll see some Roaches here from Pablito as well. He is on Tech. Nothing much besides that. We'll see on production though. Oh, Aspire. Aspire is gonna come on out here for UNSC, and this might be a big bane here for Pablito, because if UNSC can get these Mutalisks to actually work on out, it's gonna be absolutely huge. But now we do see an Overlord coming into the base. He doesn't know this yet. He's not really producing anything anti-air related. No Spore Crawlers in the bases, and this Overlord will get spotted. Gonna go for some shots. We do see another duel here, but in the end, it looks like Pablito is gonna hold. This is the real action, and the Mutants are spotted immediately as they come on out. What will Pablito do? Because the Flyers are gonna come on by. The Roaches are ready, not turning them into Ravagers. He's gonna decide to run on out with those Roaches, with those Zerglings. I think this might be in all in here now from Pablito. UNSC though, literally just deciding to decline his defense here. Just gonna go on by with the Mutants. Oh, they're gonna intercept each other, and the Mutants are getting some good damage done. So in response, Pablito will use the opportunity here to get 8 Spore Crawlers now for the defense. Here come a number of Mutalisks now to try and get rid of these Roaches, but this hatchery will fall almost instantaneously. So another battle here going the way of Pablito, but he is going to lose a lot in this retreat. On the other hand, Spore Crawlers already surrounding the bases here for the Blue Zerg. So UNSC losing his window there. That could have been an interesting base race, but UNSC doing a lot of damage here to the army count of Pablito. These Roaches don't know what's hitting them. They can't see up. They can't spit their acid up, and they don't have the Ravagers. And now the Spore Crawler is gonna go for a few shots there. Another set. He has 4 Spore Crawlers here. He has so many Spore Crawlers, man. But both players now are floating on this heavy amount of minerals, especially UNSC. Can maybe go for a few trash Zerglings. He has gotten the Hydroden, but it isn't as strong as it used to. Another Roach upgrade going by. Interesting though that finally Pablito is gonna get the Hydralisk, but he's still researching on those Roaches, and he used up a lot of gas there for not only the upgrades but also for the Roaches themselves. Now the Roaches having field day, just spitting some acid there onto the drones. And the Mutalisks now are back into the fight. Look at that. The regen just topping up so quickly. That's what's beautiful about Mutalisks. Hit and run units as per usual. Upgrade-wise, nothing though for UNSC besides Metabolic Boost. Interesting that he hasn't got any upgrades for his flyers. He's still on Lairtech, so I'm not seeing any Vipers, any Broodlords, any Corruptors into play as of yet. Just gonna be straight up Mutalist into the fight. An Overseer now gonna be used here by UNSC. And oh, I get it. So UNSC gonna respond already to the burrow, and I feel like Pablito wants to go for these burrow plays because he's gonna decide to try and sneak some roaches in, but at the same time he can also go for some lurkers now because these Hydralisks are ready to go. He will need to counter out there heavily though, so that's why he's not morphing down pit. The fourth base now gonna go on for UNSC and really the United Nations Space Command. I think that's it. Just expanding their domain heavily into other games. Pablito though gonna send in a scouting army. He's gonna spot out a welcoming party there from UNSC. The Zerglings just instantaneously dying to those Wormglaives, and UNSC just giving chase with a few more. But not really happening between these two. I'm more curious about the production here for Pablito, but UNSC already gonna respond with some lurkers because he knows that Pablito is gonna go for a very ground-based composition due to the fact that he is vested in Spore Crawlers instead of responding with a Spine and going for them Corruptors. Like, you usually just have one or two, but this guy just literally littering his field with all those Spore Crawlers to do some damage. Still no Hive Tech for either, but we will see. Both Hydralisk Den's upgrading speed. The Lurker Den now in production. And yeah, interesting that... oh yeah, I forgot, I think, that the Lurker is now a separate building. So Lurker is now gonna be built up here by UNSC, transforming those Hydralisks into something else. Interesting though that he's still gonna go for the Hydralisk speed, even though he's pretty much turning all his Lurkers, Hydralisks rather, into Lurkers. We will get +1 as well for the attack here for UNSC. In the meantime, a few pokes by some Zerglings. The poor larvae don't even know what to do. They're just coming into this world and they're already under attack. Looks like their big brother Zergling's gonna get on by. And the Lurker's now getting in position, but Pablito already knows this. He has an Overseer available, and this has been shaping up to be a very interesting ZVZ between these two players. What's more interesting though is neither of the players have decided to connect their creep. There is a good section of the map where they have to run off creep, which is, you know, I'm just interested with the dynamic of that in the first place. So the Zergling's now gonna go for this round here on the Spire Crawler. But Pablito will respond with the Hydralisk army just going on by. I feel like UNSC trying to do some economical damage there, as well as maybe get some pokes onto the Spore Crawlers, but it ain't gonna be enough here. So Pablito now ready to get in position for another attack. Hasn't really been honestly capitalizing on those roaches that he had. Lairtech still for both. Interesting that neither player decided to go for an Ultralisk. Finally, UNSC gonna go for the Roach Warren, but I feel like it might be too late here because the Lurker's now in position though. Oh, getting some huge hits there onto the Hydralisk, and the Overseer is nowhere to be seen. The Mutalist gonna go for the siege, but these Lurkers are having a field day. Finally, the Overseers have come. Got rid of one of the Lurkers here, and the other Lurkers are gonna get some damage done. That's what the Creep Tumors there getting damaged as well. And here comes this round. The Hydralisk doing so much work, even with a few nerfs there. Look at that. The Hydralisk, such a good all-around unit, doing so much damage right now. And just spitting sweet acid onto everything. We do see some cocoons transforming, and it is going to be some roaches, which are pretty good to tank against these Hydras. But the real question is, will UNSC respond in time? Because there's a lot of damage done. That was a huge hit by the Hydralisk squad. Pablito gonna call the GG. Damn, son. Pablito with the slight BM here. But he's gonna go for a face full of acid. And UNSC right now trying to turn things around, doing so much with those roaches, but a lot of damage has been done. He has lost 2 bases in that fight. The Overseer's just chilling there, not really getting hurt. Will UNSC still go for the attack? Because he just got BM there by Pablito, honestly. Maybe Pablito honestly thought that UNSC was going to call the GG, but there was still that last stand from those roaches. Now the roaches are separated, and the Hydra is doing enough damage in congregation. I feel like UNSC, it might be time to stop this fight, because this is really bad for him right now. He has Lurkers, can't really do much though against all these Hydras and all these Overseers. He even has Oversight available just in case he needs to go for the pokes. But anyway, The Overseer and the Hydra is now gonna come on by again. It really feels like it's like some Half-Life thing. Feels like these Overseers are something to be afraid of, and these poor lurkers just hiding. Has gotten 10 and 8 kills with these lurkers. Also, this one did a little damage but didn't get those final frags. Here come the Mutants again, and this is gonna be such a bad matchup. He's wasting so much minerals on these Mutalisks as well as gas, honestly. Could have gone maybe for some Brood Lords or even just like an Ultralisk or a bajillion Zerglings. Mutalisks against all these Hydras. Not gonna work out in his favor. +2/+1. No upgrades there from the Mutalisk. Insta kills all about. Here come the Roaches right now with the 1-1, but it's not gonna be enough. We have the Zergacoons gonna go for the transform. And finally, Pablito showing his stuff with the tunneling claws. The Roaches gonna go on by. Is this gonna be spotted? UNSC gonna call GG, seeing those crawling around. And that's gonna be the game. That was very strong back and forth between the two players until that very decisive attack there from Pablito, just running on by. He did make a big mistake here by tossing a few of his Hydras into the Lurker then without the Overseer. But eventually, the superior composition working out, it really goes to show what upgrades do for you in the first place. Pablito really winning it out with those investments over UNSC, who not only didn't upgrade well, but look at that, he has so many minerals, he has so much gas. He could have even done a few proxy hatches if didn't want to expand. So really, in Starcraft, it's a kind of game where you just want to keep spending. You just want to keep spending as much as you can. You don't want to float those minerals, because in the end, you're gonna think back and be like, I didn't use 3,000 resources there at the end versus 188 supply army. So congratulations to Pablito. Thank you for the game. Damn that BMGG though, but I feel like Pablito was in the right to call the GG because he did know it was more or less over. But still, UNSC putting up a last stand. I don't know. I don't think now, thinking back, I don't think it was BM. I think Pablito was expecting the GG and just typed it. But then the Roaches were coming, so instead of backspacing, he just smashed that enter to go for the micro again. So whatever, it is what it is. No real BM from these guys, and they had a good chat at the start. Always good to see some sportsmanship in StarCraft. That's gonna be it for this one. If you want to send in a replay, the instructions are in the description. Oh yeah, I should put that in the YouTube. I'll put that in the YouTube description as well. So description below. You might be coming in from the Facebook pages, so just smash that like if you want to support me and support the community. Till then, we'll see you guys in the next SCPH replay cast, and bye.